Hi everyone, welcome to the Yej Budget. My name is Yeji and today I will be talking about my financial journey, including my debts and how I became a breadwinner. I felt really hesitant making this video because I really never talked about this, like except for my husband, and I just felt like really insecure and embarrassed about how much debt we have and how bad I was in managing our budget and things like that. But I decided to share because I really want to change my financial situation and really hold myself accountable, which it really is the reason that I decided to start my YouTube channel. I thought by sharing my stories and how I budget with others, I thought that might really help me like stay more focused, stay more disciplined, which really has been super helpful. So I thought, okay, I should really share this. I think it's important to be vulnerable and share about these things with others, just so like for others who might be in a very similar situation as me can really not necessarily learn, because I really don't really have like anything to offer to like help others. But I think just like being knowing that there are people out there who might be going through the similar struggles, like financial struggles, I think just knowing that itself is helpful and sometimes encouraging, because you're not alone and there are people out there who are really working toward their financial goals, and you can be really inspired by that. That's at least like how I saw it. So anyways, so I decided to share this story today. So I wanted to first talk about like how I grew up in my family. I never really learned like how to budget. My parents always taught me I should save and I should also give. That was the only like learning that they gave me when it comes to like managing the money. I'm not blaming my parents whatsoever because they supported me so much, and when I was young they also had their own like huge debt going on. Um so and I also think it might be cultural reasons. I grew up in South Korea. I was born and raised there. And growing up, they never really shared anything about their financial struggles or like how they managed their money, because I never really talked about it with them because it really is a painful history for them, so I don't want to like trigger them or anything. Um, but I think they just didn't want their kids to worry about like how bad our financial situation was at that time. That's just my assumption, but anyways, they didn't really talk about it. So I only learned like that I should save and I should give, but I didn't really learn how to do it. Like, how do I actually manage money when I get allowances? How do I determine how much to save, how much to give, just things like that. After I graduated from high school, it was still in Korea. I got my first time job, not part-time job as a tutor, and I'm really thankful that all my major bills were paid by my parents because I lived with them. Like there was no rent. They paid for my phone, they paid for my transportation, things like that. So everything that I made from this part-time job was basically my spending money, plus like some money that I wanted to donate every year. And I did like an annual donation thing at the time and still do. And but I didn't know like I needed to save for emergency. I think I just took it for granted that I live with my parents. If there's any medical bills, for example, I knew that they will take care of it, kind of thing. And after that, I moved to California to go to college, and my parents helped pay for my tuition, which I'm just so grateful. Like, I seriously cannot thank them enough for that. And in addition to that, they send me some allowances every month so I can like go out with my friends. I didn't really go out much in college just because it was a very small liberal arts school, and like 99% of students lived on campus in dorms, so meal plans were already included and everything, so everything was like paid for. So allowances were just like my spending money when I go out for lunch with my friends and things like that. And then I also started working part-time on campus because I was an international student. I wasn't allowed to work off campus. So I work part-time at the library on campus so I can be more independent. But it was near, not even like close to being independent, but I just wanted to like help a little more by at least like making money myself for like spending, because they helped pay my tuition, dorms, meal plans, and everything. And then after graduating, I started working with my extended student visa. It's called OPT. I don't know what it stands for, but it basically allows you to work for 1 year or 2 years, depending on your major. And the first year, I wasn't really fully independent. My family, they were so great, like graciously like supporting me. But I was just paying like rent and all the major bills. But like I knew that in the back of my head that I knew I could ask for their help, like if anything were to happen. So in terms of that, although I was paying for all my bills, I don't really think that means you're being independent. And then after that, my husband and I got married. We were really young. I was like 23, and we didn't really have like full-time stable careers because we were just like fresh college graduates. But because we got married, I really wanted to be completely independent from my parents. I feel like that really is the time that like you step out of the comfort zone and figure out on your own. Of course, like they were always like willing to help and offer to help if like anything were to happen, but I just wanted to be independent, and I felt bad that I kept like getting support from them because they were paying back their debt until I moved to California, and they bought their first home maybe like in my second year or third year in college. So up until like my graduation from high school, they were really working hard to pay off the debt they had, which were from my grandparents, not from them themselves, but like from my grandparents. Um, so anyways, I felt bad that they had to do that, like literally ever since they got married. So I didn't want to be a burden to them. Not that they thought I was a burden, but I just wanted to be independent. But I didn't really know how to pay bills. I know it sounds so stupid and I'm embarrassed to say it, but honestly, I didn't know how to pay bills. Not the like you log in and you put the credit, like not credit card, like checking account or whatever to pay, not that part, but just like plan for bills and having like emergency fund and paying for annual bills like car registration, for example. I would just find out that, oh, like my car registration is due this month, like okay, I'm just gonna pay $200 now for my paycheck, which means I have a lot less money for like my daily spending, I guess daily expenses like grocery and stuff for that month. So I didn't really know how to like manage them. I would like, my husband and I would like save, and we would have like a small saving account, but when we find things that we need or we want to buy, like we would just spend that money. I don't know why we were so stupid like that. But that's how, just like how less I knew about like managing finances. And then another worst thing that I did was starting using credit cards. And even for our own wedding, we wanted to do it ourselves, but didn't have like enough to cover everything. So we would use credit card to cover the rest. And I also had to take a break from work just a few months, not a few months, maybe like 1 month or a little more than that, because the transition of my visa was a little like awkward. Like I had a student visa and then I needed to get my green card, and there was that weird gap in between. So I couldn't work for maybe like 1.5 months. And then also there was a gap between my work transition, um, maybe for like 2 months. So during the time, we didn't have any emergency fund, no month ahead money, no nothing. So everything just basically was charged on credit card. And I knew that I wasn't doing well and I wanted to do well. So I tried using a budgeting app like Google Document, just using like a notepad to track all my expenses and everything, but just nothing really worked. I was never consistent. I was never disciplined. I didn't really get a grasp of like how to budget and how much to save and just things like that. So and I don't know why, but I thought it was okay to use credit cards and somehow I would figure it out. I don't know why I had that kind of mindset, and it's honestly really embarrassing to share this because it's so stupid. But I just don't know why I thought that was okay. And yeah, so that was what was happening. And then after that, both my husband and I decided to go back to school. I went back in 2020, I think, for my master's degree. And I used some student loans to cover the tuition and also some to cover some living costs. Again, I thought it was okay to do that. And then my husband also went back in, I think, the same year or the following year. He wanted to do a career change, so he decided to transfer the credits from the school that we went, and he went for music education. So when he went back to school, he went back as a full-time student, so he had to work only part-time, and that sometimes was like 1 day a week. If more than one, then maybe like 2 days a week. So it basically made me almost like a single, I guess, breadwinner of our family. And so I continued my education while working full time. And then after I finished, sorry, my dog is like scratching the carpet behind me. And after I finished my master's degree, I decided to pursue a doctorate degree. Most PhD programs pay students, like cover their tuition and then pay them some living cost. And of course, like students sometimes need to work like teaching and whatnot, but usually a lot of like PhD programs pay for everything. But the doctorate degree that I'm doing is EDD, which is Doctorate in Education, which does not offer those benefits. So it all comes out from my student loan. And so I started my doctorate degree like 3 years ago, and I'm finishing it next year. So after this semester, I have 2 more semesters, and I'll be completely free from education. I don't think I want to do more schools after this. But anyways, during all this time, I still didn't know how to manage our money. I was paying back our credit cards, but like whenever there is like any unexpected expenses, it will be just added back on because I didn't have emergency fund. I didn't have any sort of like, I guess, sinking funds. So either I would put it on my credit card back again, or I would get more student loans to cover that expenses, like medical emergency and my pet emergency, just things like that. It just kept adding up, and I realized I was paying back credit card, but then the loan was just like, the debt was just growing even more. So that was happening, and then finally, I think it was October 2023, I found this cash stuffing method, and honestly it was like mind-blowing when I first found it. I was so shocked like how easy and straightforward this method is, and more importantly, it really worked for me. It was easy to follow for me, and I'm not a consistent person whatsoever, but somehow I was able to like be really consistent and stay disciplined in this method. And the more I learned about cash stuffing, I just was, and also zero-based budget, I was so embarrassed, like how much I didn't know before. I literally knew nothing, just like nothing. And I remember telling my husband when I first found cash stuffing, like, this should be taught in like high school. I feel like in high school, of course, we learn all the important stuff, but stuff like this, like how to budget, how to manage your finances, I feel like that also needs to be taught somehow. I guess you can learn it from your family, but if your family is also struggling financially, or maybe they don't know like how to teach their children about like budgeting, because everyone has a different situation. Like my parents didn't know how to teach me, but it's not their fault. So I feel like I was talking to my husband, like it would be wonderful if this can be like, I don't know, part of education. But anyways, I was just really shocked and embarrassed at the same time, like how little I knew about it. Because again, like as an example, I said earlier, for car registration, instead of saving a little amount every month toward the due, like on the due date, I would just pay it from my paycheck, and I thought that was okay. Um, so learning about this zero-based budget and cash stuffing really changed my finance habits and my relationship to money, I guess. But although we started in 2023, we still have a long way to go. So I was like thinking about, do I want to say the number, like how much debt we have, or should I not do it because it's a large amount of money? So I was like still hesitant until like I decided to, even like after, honestly, even after I started filming this video, I was like, do I want to say it or not? I know it's like I know I don't have to, but I decided I want to. So our debt at the moment is approximately about $143,000, which is huge. Yeah, I know it's huge. So among the 143,000, my student loan is about 120,000 because it includes my master's program, doctor program, and then I will possibly have 10,000 more dollars added to this loan because I still have one more year to go. Um, and also I use loans to cover some emergencies, like medical emergencies, pet emergencies, anything that I wasn't prepared for, I didn't prepare for. And in addition to that 120,000 for my student loan, my husband's student loan is about $20,000. And our last part of the debt is credit card, which now has $3,000 after paying back little by little. We came a long way to go. We used to have like a 10K on credit card, and we were able to like bring it down to 3,000, and we're like actively working on paying back the credit card. And yeah, so we do have a lot of debt. And also right now we have one income. We're a single income household. I am a breadwinner right now. I've been like kind of a breadwinner like ever since my husband went back to school, because just like I said, he worked maybe like 1 or 2 days a week. So really, I think like we been doing this since 2021, I guess. And then I became the really like a sole breadwinner, and we became the single income household since last fall, because my husband's in his final part of the program for his teaching credential, which requires him to like go to school and teach every day. And then on weekends, he's like super busy prepping for the following week. And because it's the last semester, we thought it would be better if he just focused on the school. And in the meantime, like I can cover everything from my income, thankfully. So I'm paying all the rents, bills, and everything right now. So all the cash stuffing that you've seen since last fall, or I guess like January. It's been just my paycheck. Yeah, so that has been going on. And I think like I know it was our decisions to go back to school. And yes, it gave us more debts, of course, but for us, like pursuing these degrees really was an important step for us to like move on to the next chapter of our lives and career. So we took it as a investment. I'm not saying that you should pursue education with loans. Like, that is not the ideal way to do it. Avoid the loans as much as you can, of course. But I believe education, and I would always encourage my friends, my family to pursue education if they are able to and if they want to. So although it gave us more debt, I really don't regret going back to school. I mean, I regret it because like I have so much homework to do. In that sense, I regret it that I gave up my freedom, but I don't regret like going back to school in terms of like having loans. Of course it's going to be difficult to pay that back, but I really see the value in that, and really like pursuing this was a huge like step for us, especially for my husband because he decided to change his career to be a music teacher. So for him it was like a must, honestly, like to be able to do that. So anyways, we are happy with our decisions. And again, I'm really not saying that you should go for it even if you need to take loans. Like, that's not what I'm saying, but really for us this was an important decision that we wanted to make. um but anyways, I am still embarrassed like sharing my story, but I wanted to share it because I want to be better and want to be in a better place in terms of our financial situation. And also I want to hold myself accountable, and I know by sharing this I will be able to do that even more. And again, like as I shared earlier, for anyone who might be in a similar situation as us, I want to let you know that you're not alone, and we can do this together. Like, you don't have to be embarrassed about your debt. Although I've been saying that I'm embarrassed, I'm trying not to be. I'm trying not to be insecure about it because yeah, these I could have done better, but at least now I learned how to manage it, and I learned now how to really focus on paying back the debt and growing the emergency funds for any situations that might happen. So just wanted to share that with you guys. And so now our goal is to pay back our debt. My husband will be finishing his program this summer, and then he'll be starting working full time. And so we will be able to more aggressively pay back our credit card. So that definitely is our number one goal for this year. And then we want to start paying back our student loans. We are still debating which one we should like pay back first. My husband's loan is on a what's it called, like a pause on the interest. I know that might change with the current situation with the Department of Student, not student, Department of Education and whatnot. So we're still debating what will be best. But once we pay back our credit card, we'll start paying back our student loans. And I know it will be a long journey, but I'm so glad that I found this budgeting method that really works well for us. And now I know I can get there eventually. So that was kind of my debt confession slash sharing my financial goals for this year and future many years. Um, and yeah, so that was my story. I don't know. It feels weird that I decided to share this, and because my parents don't know about this, my in-laws don't know about this. Like, we've been keeping it pretty private because we don't want them to worry about it, and I also want to be fully responsible for all the debt that we have because it really was from our mistakes, like not knowing how to do it and whatnot. So I want to be responsible for that. So we didn't share it with anyone. So it's kind of weird that I'm sharing it in my video. But again, like I'm really sharing this because I want to be better. I want to figure out how to have a healthier relationship with my money. And now that we are talking about having a baby, like in maybe next year or near future, I want to be able to be in a better place. And also I want my kids to learn like how to manage their money and have a healthier relationship than I did. So I'm really hoping that I can teach them, like learn that, in addition to many other wisdom that I hope I can share with them. So yeah, this video really is a starting point of all the journey, and I thought it would be important for me to share this here. And yeah, I don't know how to end this video, but anyways, that was my story, and thanks for listening. I'm sure this video was pretty long and I kind of like ramble, so I don't know if it all made sense, but thank you again so much for listening to this story. And if you are in any similar situation, we got this. Like, feel free to share your story in the comment here. No, I know I'm not judging you, and I hope no one judges anyone and me. And I really don't see that in this community. I feel like everyone's so supportive of each other, so that's what I'm hoping to see. But anyways, like I will never judge you for any struggles that you may have financially. Like I'm here for you, I'm rooting for you, and I know we can get there together. So feel free to share your stories if you would like to. And thank you again so much for supporting my channels, watching this video, and I hope to see you again in my next video. Bye.